Big breakthrough, meanwhile, has come in the investigation. Officials probing the crash have found the Cockpit Voice Recorder. American and Indian investigators have now reached the crash site as well. This is the CVR, the voice recorder that basically records all sounds in the cockpit, which means basically of the pilot, the co-pilot conversations. This is going to be possibly of the most significance. Alarm, engine noise, switch clicks, radio communications, communication with the air traffic control. This could become a solid evidence about what exactly unfolded in that 1 minute of panic. This helps identify possible errors, technical failures, miscommunication that may have contributed to the crash. But days after, the aviation minister has said that the government has formed a high-level panel to investigate the crash further. The panel will be headed by Union Home Secretary and will chair a crucial meeting today itself. The meeting will be attended by the Secretary of Civil Aviation, the Home Secretary of Gujarat, Directorate General of Civil Aviation, representatives from even the Indian Air Force, Intelligence Bureau and several other bureaucrats, because all sorts of angles are being looked at here. Investigation panel will also analyze flight data, witness statements, also examine human environmental factors, analyze especially whether the protocol was followed to the T or not. The panel has to submit the investigation report within the next 3 months. But remember, as the investigation will continue, which is important, 260 people and more have died in this. Amit Bhardwaj has been on the ground. He's been tracking all the latest on that. Amit, what is the significance? Tell us about the voice recorder. How is the investigation going to begin? What is happening on the ground?
Pooja, you know, India has launched 2 parallel investigations into the AI-171 crash, and one is the high-level committee that has been formed by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. The other is the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, which kicks in whenever this kind of crash happens anywhere. So in this particular case, the AIB team was already rushed to the spot the very day when the crash happened, and at this point in time, as we speak, the US probe agency NTSB experts have been also called into the crash site. They are still working on the crash site as the work of recovery of the material evidences is being carried out by the AIB expert team. Along with that, the Boeing members were also called because it is a Boeing Dreamliner craft that had met this tragic accident on June 12th, and that is why Boeing experts have been also called in, because they understand their product better than anyone else. So it is even more important for them to be present when factual evidences are being collected. The Air India safety team was also called in this morning by the AIB team. They were also roped in into the entire investigation. So the effort right now seems to be by the AIB to bring in all domain experts from India and from abroad as well, in order to collect as much as material evidence as possible, in order to look into every possible aspect as to what could have led to this tragic accident on June 12th. Besides this, as you rightly mentioned, the CVR has been also recovered by the agency now. The CVR is essentially Cockpit Voice Recorder, which means that now the agencies would also, the AIB would also know the conversation between the pilot and the co-pilot, between the crew, whether the alarm rings were going on in those 2 minutes, and whether the engine was working properly or not, because the CVR also records the engine sound. So we will be able to know as to whether both engines failed, whether there was any possibility of human error. All that dots can be connected. So AIB already has access to the black box. Now the CVR has been already collected, and more details about the technical faults, what happened within the AI-171 on the day of crash. The dots can be connected through these recoveries and with the help of the foreign experts who are on the ground. Back to you.
All right, Amit, stay on with me. We leave it to the investigators to find out further what exactly happened. But as you can see, visuals on the screen of the crash site of the American team also that has arrived on location to investigate further. In case you want to understand, how does this cockpit voice recorder that has been recovered really work? What is the significance? It reconstructs the cockpit actions, pilot's decision, the conversation that was happening right at that moment, because that will reveal what exactly unfolded. It reveals pilot reactions as well to emergencies, to the alarms that have happened, and the realization that something's going horribly wrong right now at that juncture, needs an emergency landing. But it could also provide an evidence of technical issues, if in case there is any human error. But it could possibly also pinpoint exact moment of critical events. And remember, here we are talking about barely 1 minute. The takeoff happens, and in the next minute, basically about 10 to 20 seconds in which that crash happened, what went so wrong that there couldn't have been an emergency landing as well. So that is something from the CVR the investigators will be able to find out.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.